Hi all, welcome to my channel, welcome to my world. This is the world of Wayne. You know what, I should rephrase or rename this week to 2-pack week, because yesterday we did 2 packs of the Agora model Stingray. Today I'm going to be doing 2 packs of the Fanhome release and build the Michael Bay Optimus Prime.
My name is Optimus Prime.
So that means we're going to be doing stages 37 to 46. There is a lot to do. I was very conscious there wasn't much to do in the last pack, so that's why I bundled 2 packs together to see how this is going to go. Now, if you do want to get this for yourself, I have put a link in the video description, and there's also a QR code on the screen. I know we've been working on this mid-torso section, so I'm guessing we're going to be continuing that. Don't know, haven't looked at the magazines. That's the whole joy of doing these builds, that we get to discover that together. So without further ado, let's get cracking. So here's the magazine for stage 37. Let's have a look. We are going to be, oh, look at this, this is cool. We are working still on this center area there. We have got some electrics in there as well. So we're going to be adding these pieces and building onto that. So that's what we're going to be doing in stage 37. So get this out carefully without breaking that wire there. And the first thing I need is this bracket here, and I need these lights. And this light has got a lug at the bottom. This is just going to go into the hole of this bracket, just like this. So looking at the torso here, we've already got lights in this side. I'm going to want to put these ones into this side here. So it's just a case of putting these into the holes, pushing that all the way down. Excellent. And then just like we did for the one over here, I'm going to be taking the wire from this and putting this under this section so that it can come out through the top. And look at that, I got lucky there. That just came up all by itself. That's brilliant. There we go. Now I've got 2 wires coming out the center there. Now the next thing I want to do is to link these 2 sections here. I have this bracket, and it needs to be this way round, and it's just going to clip into each side here. So one this side and one the other side. Not the easiest thing to get in. There you go. So that one's in there. I want to take the left pelvis plate, and that's going to go on that large ball joint on the left side there. As you can see, we've got the cavity for that to fit into there. So it's just a push in. You should hear that click in. So that's in now like that. And then we've got these 2 details, which I'm going to need to pin together. So I've got an IP screw here. And the way these are going to go is this way round, probably best on the top camera. This is going to go over the top there, and it is secured with one of these IP screws. Now I need this rear plate. We actually did this in issue 24, and I want to be putting the pins from this, what we just created, into the back of this plate. Let's get them in. You can move this part just out the way. And there we go, that's pushed into place. And then very similar to what we've done on this side, we're going to be putting that on this side here. And it's just going to be fitting onto that ball joint on this side here. You heard that clip in. So now that's looking just like that. There is one other thing that I should have done right at the start, which you're probably all screaming at me. I've got these UP flanged screws here. I just need one of those, and the lights that I just put in on this side does need one of these UP screws just underneath to ensure that that's not going to fall out. That's that in there, and that is all there is to do in that stage. In stage 38, here's the magazine, and we are going to be still working on the torso. We've got these sections here now to put on. We're still adding more details to this, so by the end it's now looking just like that. So open up stage 38 here. There's no screws, so I'm guessing these are all just slotting, and indeed that's exactly how we're starting. We're taking this plastic section here, and I've got somewhere, there it is, I thought I'd lost it, a big part here to put in. What are they calling this? Just pistons. Just says pistons. So I'm putting this one in here. There is a locating lug at the bottom, so it does go a certain way round for it to fit flush in there like that. And then again, I've got a small locating lug just off center on this one to put this one into place here. There we go, and that fits nice and flush. Now this whole thing is just going to fit into this central area here like this, and it's a pushing, so make sure that clips all the way into place. The next section we've got is just going below that. Again, 2 lugs there are going to push into this one here. Certainly coming along, isn't it? And then if I turn this over, just on the back section here, you see we've got a little triangle of lugs. That's where this massive piece here is going to go. So line them up and push all of them in all the way. And that is all there is to do in that stage. In stage 39, here's the magazine. We are going to be a couple more details here. Looks like we're actually making something new. I'm not quite sure what this is, but we do get to attach this to it. I'm not sure what this is. We have got this sort of detail going on as well. Going to be interesting to see how we're doing this. So these are decals. We're going to be putting some decals on. We don't need those for a second though. Probably does mean I'm going to need water. I don't think these are stickers. I do think these are decals. Just looking, they're decals. So I'm going to need to get some water for this. In the meantime, I've got these sections to put on either side of this front panel support here. So one's going to go in there and one's going to go in there. And I do have these IP screws to hold that in from the other side. So we do need 2 for each side. So I'll get all of these in. This is the last one going in here. And then these 2 sections we're not actually doing anything with now. I can put them to one side. And I'm just going to get some water so I can put these decals on. Now, we only need, by the look of it, 1. Which is just this left-hand side one here first. I've got a little pot of water already in the workshop for that. I'm just going to let that soak. And just get a soft cloth. That's soaked enough now. Now what I want is the thick side of this decal to go onto the top, and it's sort of going to be going down the whole thing. So this actually starts from the corner over here. Let me just wet this area it's going to go onto. Just like this. And it sort of touches that other edge just there. So it's going to look like that. I'm just going to pat that dry. Perfect. And there we go. That's our first decal on. I'm going to do exactly the same on the other side with the right hand side one. So they have gave us 2 spare on here. I don't know if we're using them later on or if that's exactly what they are, if they are spare. You do want to let this soak for a good minute because this blue paper has got the glue on it that's going to stick it to that. So if you only put it in long enough to have this slip around, you're not going to get enough glue to stick it to this. But as long as I make this symmetrical to what you see at the top, we're not going to have an issue. So once again, I'm just going to water that side. Slide off the decal or decal. Depends where you're located. Some people call them decals, some people call them decals. I'm mirroring this exactly like the one on this side. And when I'm happy with it, I'll just pat this dry. And there you go, with both of them on. That's all there is to do in that stage. In stage 40. Magazine feels a lot chunkier, this one. So I don't know if there's a lot more to do. Let's have a look. We've got some big parts. That's probably we've got a circuit board as well. So it looks like we're going to be putting the circuit board into this section. That's pretty much what those sections were that we created in the last stage. And we are going to attach this now to that torso section here. And then putting these on. Get this open. And that's what the circuit board is looking like. Now what I want to do is I want to plug one section of this B lead that comes in this stage into the B socket. Now all these sockets are labelled by letters, Make sure it's in the right way. So that's in. Bring over this section we got in the last stage. I'm just going to be putting this into here like that. And I'm going to securing it down with IP screws. We just need 2 of these. Before I put it down though, what I am going to do is just feed the cable here through the hole in the sides that comes out the back. And there we go. Then I can line this up. Just makes things a little bit easier to put in. So, circuit board's in. Now on this side here that's got this panel on, this is where this is going to actually go. This is going to be going on the top here with the 2 massive lugs going through these holes here and here. Like that. Now I'm going to hold these in here and here with FM screws. One here. Oil is your friend. These are quite tight screws to get in. And one this side. Once I've got one side in, I'm going to, it does spin all the way around actually. I realise that. I'm going to put the other side in here. So this is going to go in this way. And they're held in this time with XP screws. Now the wires that were coming up from the lights, they're still going to be coming out the front. They're not going into this area at all at the moment. So as you can see, that's now looking like that. Now the only other thing to do, we've got a ball joint just here. This is the front ball joint here that I'm going to be clipping this to. So this goes in this way on this side, like that. And there we go. They're both in place. And that's all there is to do in that stage. As you can see, these are able to move like that. Perfect. In stage 41, here's the magazine. Loads of toys. Look at that. We've got a few details here to put in. Looks like we're creating another section now, which is an independent section of what we're doing. So we don't actually need the torso this time. And this is the left shoulder. Creating the left shoulder now. So it does seem that any part that's protected by plastic is metal in this. Any part that isn't is plastic. So that gives you an idea of what's what. Okay, we've got some bits to put in here. First off, I've got these 2 points here which come in a bag. These are just lower caps. These are going to be going into the holes just at the bottom here. So one this side. No glue, just pushing these in. 1 and 2. And then in this bag here, I've got one all by its own self, which is going to go into the hole just at the outside edge here. Like that, like a wristwatch. Put that to one side and bring over this shoulder extension detail I'm about to put in now. That's just going to go into this cavity here. It has got a D-shaped pattern, so it can only go in one way. There we go, that's in. Bringing back this metal section here, in this hole I've got this detail here, which is just says frame support detail. Again, it's shaped, so it can only go in one way. So now that's in like that. And then these 2 lugs on this section here are going to go onto the 2 points just there. It's just a case of lining them up like that and securing them in with CP screws I've got here. Yes, I'm aware I've put this piece in the wrong way. It's meant to go on the other side, but you know me, I make mistakes, and there's no way I'm going to edit those things out. If I've made mistakes, someone else is going to do it as well. Don't worry though, I do realise in stage 44, as you're about to see soon. And then finally, the last thing to do is to actually put this detail in. It's going to be going at the bottom here, and we're going to be putting a pin, which is in this bag, through here to hold that into place. In fact, the pin in the pictures actually comes in from this side. I want to put the smooth end in first. I always find just putting a little bit of oil on is going to help the job to do this. But get that through there. Get my duckbill pliers and push that into place. Like that. And that is all there is to do in that stage. So in stage 42, here's the magazine. Having a flick through. And we are now doing the left shoulder too. So we're still working on that left shoulder and building up what we've just created. So it's now looking like this. In fact, I didn't realise this section we're working on is actually now working on the following pack. So we're now working on the following pack that I got. Just figuring out what part I need first. The first part I need is 42B. That looks like this. And that's just going to go over this section here. Stamped with an L. I want to hold that in with FM screws. So I put one in there and there's just two more to put in. The next section I'm putting on looks like this, and that's just going to fit over the top of this one here. And this time it's held in with KP screws. They look exactly the same. The threads are more spaced out on the plastic screws. Let's get these in. So there you go. That's looking like that. Just put that to one side because I need this last section now, and I've got a detail to add to that, which is like a pin here, which is actually going to go into this center section all the way in. But there you go, getting it in and make sure it's flush on that side there. Once again, this section now we just created is going to go on top of this, lining everything up, and it's the KP screws again to hold that in. And with this last screw going in here, quite a chunky part the shoulder is, isn't it? But that's all there is to do in that stage. In stage 43, here's the magazine. And we're still working on this shoulder. Oh, we've got springs. That's going to be fun. Putting this all together. So now that's looking like that. Still building up that shoulder. Again, parts of the packet are normally metal. And it is this metal section that I'm going to need first. So this metal section with this plastic sleeve, and this is actually just going to be slotting down here like this. Now I'm just double checking which way round it goes. It actually goes this way round so that those tabs fit perfectly into these side panels here. And if you look at the top camera, that's the way I've got this orientated. So I'm hoping that's right. Then I've got this position gear looking like that. That's just going to go, this has got little grooves which are going to go into the grooves there. That goes into the center like that. And then finally we've got this plate here which is going to be going, just as a dry fix, we are going to be gluing this in onto the top section there like that. So let me get some glue. Put some glue all the way around there. And then I'll put this into place. Perfect. Now bringing over the shoulder section that we worked on, I've got this spring which is going to go into the spindle just there. And then I want to pass this shaped spindle here onto that shaped hole of what we've just created. So you have to keep turning it until it slots all the way in like that. Nice and flush. And now I'm having to hold this with my hands because it will spring back up if I don't. And I need one of these washers, which I affectionately call split washers or lock washers. Put that onto this screw. I wish I had another pair of hands. Then I'm going to let gravity guide my hand so I can get that in there and make that nice and tight. Then once that's in, as you can see, that's that shoulder in. Now this should be able to turn, as you can see. Now if I need to make that tighter, I can tighten that up from here. I'm going to leave it just like that for now. Next thing to put in is this detail here. It's going to go in here. Here's a key pattern. So it can only go in one way. That does help. It's going to go in like that. And that's held in with an SP screw. Got one here. And there we go. That's that detail in. And then finally, the only other detail I've got to put in is going to go on this side. And that's this detail here. Is going to go into these blades. Need to make sure that there's a longer one and a shorter one. But I am going to need to put glue on these to hold this in. So probably best on the top camera, going in this way, line them up, and they're in just like that. And that is all there is to do in that stage. In stage 44, here's the magazine. And again, we've got the left shoulder. Look, lots of details in this that we're going to be putting in. So it looks to be a little bit more to do on this one. And I just so happened to take a glance at what we've got in the last two packs, and it looks like we're going to be working on the other shoulder. So what I'm going to do is get all of these parts out. Look at this, we've got a wrench in this one. Let me open this. Little tiny wrench, that's going to come in handy. So this is the left underarm joint that I've got here, and I'm going to be connecting this first. So this is going to be going into this inside here. The clip that we put on here is actually going to go into the hole of this arm that moves. Like that. Then the other two sides are just going to be connected to the lugs there. Now they're going to be held in with BM screws. We need 3 of these. So get all of these in. Now on this side here, you see we've got a shape for a friction disc here. That's this one, and I want the scored section to be facing upwards like that. And then on top of that, I want to take this metal joint, and that's just going to be going in here, whoops, like this, without moving that joint. Perfect. I'm just lining it up. So there we go, that's in there. Now I've got these big screws to go in. So put one in one side, get that all the way through. And this is why now they gave us this, I don't know what they call it. Wrench. It is a wrench. They've called it a wrench. You mean I've got the name right for something? That never happens. I'm just turning this until I can see it come out the other side, which it just has. And then I've got a locking nut to put on, which is going to go on this side here. Keep turning it to make this as tight as I can, because now what I'm going to do, I've got the spanner that they gave us in an earlier pack, because I now need to make this nice and tight. And there you go. That's in like that. Now, hopefully you can see this on the top camera. At the bottom, we've got another friction joint to put in. This time it's a lot smaller. Looks like this. Again, making sure that the scored side is facing up. Bring over this section here. We're actually going to be putting this into place. So this is going to be going on the left side here. So it's going to be this side. And of course, this is where I realise, at this stage of the build, where I've made a little mock-up. Now I make mistakes so you don't have to. I've just realised I've put this section here the wrong way round. So I'm using a tiny screwdriver to get into this, which I still can do, thank God. I do think it's important that I leave my mistakes in, because this should go in from this direction here. I wonder why mine was the wrong way round, but it should go in that way. I make mistakes, so I'm going to have to make sure that when I do the edit for this, just say I realise my mistake here, and I fix it in stage 43. So let's get this screwed in this side, the correct side. That's better. Looks like the picture now. So I just had that the wrong way around. What an idiot. Okay. This is then going to be sliding onto the left side here, which is going to be going in here this way round. So I'm just going to get this in like that. Line up the hole, which I've done. And I want to take another one of these screws. But this time I want to put a split washer on, lock washer, and then a normal washer. That's going to be going down the top here, into the top, and then using what they gave us here, now I can see why they gave it, I'm going to screw that down. That will enable me to put the locking nut just at the bottom here. Remember, you can lift the arm up here, so it does make things a lot easier to screw in. Excellent. That's quite tight. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Excellent. Now I need to take these sections here. What I'm going to be doing is putting these together. And if you have a look through the sides here, we're going to be putting a pin in. So these can actually go forwards and backwards like that. Now I've got the tiny pins here. So again, put the smooth side in first, lining up the holes. I think because it's one big hole, it should be a lot easier. I've called upon my trusty little hammer here. It's going to help out to do this. can see, almost. That's in like that. I'm going to do that 3 times. And the way these goes, I have a small one going at the end here. And push that all the way on. And then the other side is just going to go into the hole here. Like that. And as you can see, because we're on a joint now, it can bend. But that's one in. The second one is going to go just below it. So into the point here at the top. Make sure that goes all the way down. And here at the bottom. And again, you should hear that clip in. And then finally, turning it over, we got one to do just on the back here. Small end in the top. Make sure that goes all the way down. Then the other end at the bottom. Just like that. Perfect. So now we have got a shoulder in place. And that's all there is to do in that stage. Tell you what, that stage 44 was a bit of a tough one. But stage 45, here we go. Here's the magazine. And I believe we are going to start now creating, as you can see, the other shoulder. This time we're going to get this bit right. Put it in the right way. So let's do that now. So we should be able to whiz through it. First thing I'm going to do is put the caps on here at the bottom again. So one this side. They're very tight. You're not going to have a problem with these falling out. Then I've got the bigger one here, which just goes onto this outside section here. Excellent. I've got this piece just here, which is going to be going as the extension onto this, which is shaped, so it can only go in one way. This piece here is going into this side. Again, it's a shaped piece, so it can only go in one way. Now I'm going to put this in the right way. This actually goes in that way, Wayne. Why did I put it in the other way last time? I don't even think you can get it in that way, can you? How on earth did I put it in that way? I don't know. It definitely goes in that way. And it's held in with CP screws. I've got to make one mistake in these builds. It just tests your watching. Okay. And if I didn't make a mistake, then, you know, you wouldn't have anything to comment about. Okay. Let's get these in. And then the last thing to do, just like last time, is to take this pin. This is going to be going on the bottom here. This time I'm putting it in from this side. So once again, I'll dip this into a bit of oil. Put the pin through here. Line it up. Ensure it goes through both sides. Get my big duckbill pliers. And push them together like that. And with that in, that's all there is to do in that stage. So the last stage of this marathon build, here's the instructions, is just putting these 3 sections on here like we did last time. So at the end, it's looking just like that. And that means I take this section first, line this up with those pieces there, and that's going to be held in with the FM screws, which I've got here, because we are going into metal. Then I'm putting this side on, exactly like last time, lining up the holes, but this time held in with KP screws. And the last thing to do is just put this spindle again through here, making sure it goes all the way in. It's a tough fit, that's for sure, but make sure that that's flush. And then this is just going to be going on here, matching the holes. And it's just the last of these KP screws to hold this side in. So we are well on the way to making our other shoulder there, but that is all there is to do in those stages. That's all there is to do in that pack. This is what we've done so far, looking really good. It actually goes around this way. Let me just turn this to the way it goes. It goes that way round. And that is how that is looking. Not bad, not bad. It's very busy, isn't it? It's very busy. There's a lot going on. And of course, I only made one error in today's video, but you know what I'm like. I blame my Monday is now Tuesday. But there you go. That's what it looks like from the front, and that's currently what it's looking like at the back. Obviously, as I said, we have been working on the decals as well on this. I didn't get to show you the back. This is what the back's looking like at the moment. So as you can see, it looks just like that there. Not sure about decals. I thought they might have been pre-done for us, but there you go. If you do want to get this for yourself, I'll put a link in the video description. I don't know if it's still available, but the link is there anyway. But I really hope you liked that video. If you did, please remember to give me a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed already, please remember to subscribe. Other than that, take care.